Have you ever watched yourself freeze in a moment that mattered, knowing exactly what to do, and still not move? Not because you didn't care, not because you weren't ready, but because your body went offline. Most people think that's panic. It's not. What actually happens is quieter and more confronting. Your nervous system shuts down before your mind ever gets a chance to help. And last week, a real moment showed exactly how this works, and what brings a body back online when everything is collapsing at once.
Last week in Florida, a 4-year-old stopped breathing on the side of the highway. No pulse, no movement, just a parent screaming for help. As you hear that, notice what happens in your body. That tightening, that drop in the chest, that instant sense of something is wrong. Your body already knows this moment. 2 deputies ran toward the car. And here's the part that stayed with me. They didn't panic. They didn't freeze. They didn't rush. They slowed first. One deputy took a breath, a real, grounded breath, before touching the child. Not because he didn't care, but because his body had learned something most of us never were taught. When one nervous system stays regulated, it gives every other nervous system in the space a chance to come back online. That breath changed the entire scene. The pace shifted. The chaos stopped spreading. The environment reorganized around regulation instead of fear. And moments later, the child came back. Not because fear disappeared, not because the moment became easier, but because regulation came first and action followed. When fear hits your system, your body does 3 things instantly. First, it collapses your breath. Second, it narrows your awareness. Third, it disconnects you from your sense of power. That's why you freeze. That's why your mind goes blank. That's why it feels like you disappear. And here's the part most people miss. Fear isn't a mindset problem. It's a physiological shutdown, which is why forcing yourself doesn't work. Why motivation fails. Why confidence disappears exactly when you need it most. Your body isn't resisting you. It's protecting you, based on what it learned before you had words. What brought that child back wasn't luck. It wasn't heroics. It wasn't force. It was co-regulation. One regulated body stabilized the entire system. This is why your breath matters. Why your pace matters. Why your presence matters more than your thoughts in high-pressure moments. You don't rise to the level of the moment. You fall to the level of your regulation. That's not a flaw. That's biology. And once you understand that, something changes. You stop trying to override your body and start learning how to lead it. Most people spend their lives waiting to feel confident enough to act. But confidence doesn't create regulation. Regulation creates confidence. The people who can handle pressure aren't braver. They're not stronger. Their nervous systems know how to stay online when fear shows up. And that's trainable, not through positive thinking, not through forcing exposure, but through teaching your body that it can come back again and again. This is what real resilience looks like. Not never shutting down, but recovering faster, staying present longer, and choosing your response instead of disappearing inside the moment. If you've ever frozen when it mattered, you're not broken. Your body was overwhelmed. And the good news is this. What was learned under pressure can be unlearned with safety. This week, everything we share is about helping your body stay online. So when pressure comes, you don't vanish from your own life. You don't need to become someone else. You need to train what's already there. And we'll do that together, one regulated moment at a time.